He's still about a month away in Chicago, so let's get the Democratic perspective on the last couple of days with our guest, Dr. Susan Johnson Cook. She was the ambassador at large for religious freedom through the Obama years and is up late with me tonight here live on the Final Five. Good to see you again.
Thank you. Great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Let me ask you first and foremost here. We are all Americans, so how do we heal? How do we get through the last couple of days as one?
Well, you know, I was also the domestic policy analyst under the Clinton administration, and so I was in the White House. And I think what needs to happen is that the leader who is the commander-in-chief right now, President Biden, has to be the healer. He started his campaign with, "We're praying for the soul of the nation." He now has to show how we do that and how we put the salve on the soul. And that means using the words of your last guest, he has to be a world-class political talent. He's got to rise to the occasion.
Are you pleased with his response? He did speak to the nation on Saturday. He did so again last night. I think there's only so much you can do, but I think the fact that he reached out to the former president and the fact that two men spoke is a good sign.
Oh, that's a great sign. It was a great gesture. It's gentlemanly. I mean, we're talking about hillbillyology with the VP candidate, but this is senatorialology. Somebody who's been in the front lines of the Capitol and of the White House and who knows how to lead. It's conciliatory and it's the right gesture. It was gentlemanly to do, and it is a healing motion and gesture for our nation.
You know, over the last couple of weeks, a lot of people in the Democratic Party have been calling upon President Biden perhaps to consider stepping aside, and it looks like for now those discussions are on the back burner. Do you think that those talks are over with, or is this something that's still going to continue within the party?
They have to be over with. We're 38 days away from the Democratic convention. When the Democrats have a candidate, you have to stick beside him or her. And the people who were calling for his ouster, many of them were old themselves. Let's not forget Nancy Pelosi came in at 52 and left at 82. Let's get behind our candidate, not criticize them for their age or what they're lacking. Let's talk about what they brought to the table and what they're doing. And I think he's going to have to stand on his track record, and he's going to have to master the media as Donald Trump has learned to do for 10 years. He's got to be in the front of all of this discussion and say, I'm not dropping out, which he said, and I'm staying in, and I want you to stay with me. And I think Democrats will stand with him.
Let me ask you this before I let you go. And I want your honest opinion on this. A lot of people have said, and there have been accounts that said Donald Trump is a changed man, that God protected him over the weekend. Does the message change, do you think? Is it possible to do that?
I think he knows the media, how to master the media and crowds well. I don't think a man changes in 72 hours, even when there's an attempted assassination. I think it remains to be seen, but I do know the personality and the character of President Biden, and that's been the same all the time. And I think we go forward with the man who is the commander-in-chief. Let him be the commander-in-chief and let us go forward. It's a campaign. They've got to compete, but I hope the best man will win.
It's funny. Over the weekend when I was thinking about who to have on the show, your name came to mind tonight. I was very thrilled when we found out we could have you back on the Final Five. So Dr. Susan Johnson Cook, always a pleasure to have you. Thanks for staying up late. We appreciate it very much.
Thank you. And I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you.
And we'll see you soon, hopefully in person. Final Five is back.